because I grew up in church. And so what I dealt with was a sense of feeling like I knew the Lord just because I went to church. I never spent any moment of any day ever reading a Bible, like on my own will, because I wanted to growing up, even though I went through all of the motions and all this stuff. Now, this is about 18 years old. By that point, I had been years addicted to pornography and self and pride. I was in a kind of a hardcore metal band that was playing shows, and we called ourselves a Christian band. But the only thing Christian about us was probably honestly the fact that we called ourselves a Christian band. I didn't exist. There was no fruit in my life of salvation. I did not have any kind of love, joy, or peace on me. I could recognize the presence of God, but only because I had grown up in the church where the presence of God was being poured out. I went through a season where I actually struggled with my identity as a man and how I felt about women and men, actually. Yep. Sexually, thoughts were consistently bombarding my imagination. My imagination, because of my secrecy and addiction to pornography, had been destroyed completely. I couldn't go probably 10 minutes without lusting after another woman. It was bad. And I would cry out to him, and many years I would say, Lord, why don't you use me? Why don't you use me? Why don't you choose me to do good things and great things? And that would be my only prayer. Until one day, man, it was because a girl, I was interested in this girl in a college group, and she dumped me. And I was broken up about that, because that's the only kind of relationship that I had. I didn't have any kind of relationship with the Lord. One night, I was actually out in the woods, no lie, like kind of a empty construction zone where they were developing land in the town that I lived. And it was like midnight, and the Lord met me, man. And the interesting thing was, for the first time in my life, I actually felt like I feared the Lord. Not like a fear like, oh my goodness, but it was fear. And I think the fear of the Lord came from the reality that I realized that God was real, one. I mean, really, really real. And two, He wasn't anything like me in that moment. And all my sin and everything was before Him, like on a table, And so what I did was, I thought, in my mind, that the Lord was going to kill me. I really did. It was that intense. I said, Lord, you've come to kill me. Because clearly, here's my sin. Clearly, I am messed up. Clearly, I have all these issues. And it's so evident that coming into His presence, that these are the things that are plaguing my life. This addiction, this self-preservation, everything. This pride. I reeked with pride. When He confronted me, I was so shocked whenever He spoke to me very clearly in my heart. He said, John, 1, I love you. 2, He goes, I know the desires of your heart, and I have a plan for your life, and I want to give you those desires, but you have to seek me. And so I said, sounds like a good deal, and I gave Him my life right then and there. I just said, I'm done. I quit trying to do it my own way, my own thing. And the next morning, I walked to my parents' house. I was still living with my parents at the time. Walked in, saw a Bible on the dining room table, picked it up and read it under my own heart, just for the first time. All the stuff I heard growing up, all the experience I had in church and hearing the Word of God and all that kind of stuff, everything just kind of locked in for me. So it was like real quick. I immediately developed an extreme hunger for the knowledge of God and hunger for the Word. I began to read and fast, and I began to really dig in. I got totally delivered from all of that stuff, and I remember right at the end of that semester walking around and walking around the school and just weeping and not knowing why. And I asked the Lord why. I just said, Lord, why am I feeling this way? And the Lord said, John, you're feeling this way because I desire these students. And I want them with me. But because nobody will tell them about me, they're going to leave this campus and they're going to end up existing in eternity in eternal separation from Him. So I started standing up on the stage and just started doing open air preaching. Nice. Laying hands on the sick and asking people if they want to be set on fire and condemning apathy, hardcore, and going after the lost.
Nice.
And the Lord grew it to, now it's like a few hundred. We're on a few different campuses now. And I love it. I love seeing the sick healed. I love seeing people get saved. I love it. There's nothing that gives me more energy than that. Is that I would be a vessel, that I would be animated dirt that God would use to show people, man, that they can hold on to a greater pleasure.
That's good.
Nothing. Pornography didn't give me anything that God has given me. And that's my heart. Is that I would be the example of Christ, because I know Him. I really do know Him now. And I'm happy to say I do know Him. I've been set free. I've had moments where I felt such insecurity beating on the inside, and heard the Lord say, today's the day I'm taking this from you. So friendship with God is so key. God is way better than we think. He's way better than I think.
That's good.
Daily I discover how good God is. Every single day God gets better and better and better.